Hey everyone, my name is Ismail Navarro, founder and CEO of Countervail. Today I'm going to hopefully show you how to save money on your Opex. And I'm going to provide this two use case examples. I'm going to show you how to convey this message to leadership from a tangible perspective as leadership would like to take it into a business context. I'm going to use, let's say, two Windows Event ID logs, the Kerberos request, which is 4769, and the audit policy log 4719, which if it is being recorded and it is seen, well, it is a recommended event ID to monitor, but it's also scheduled. So I'll get to that in a bit and how these use cases, how they actually pertain to the benefit of informing your CISO, your CEO, your COO, your CFO, whoever you're trying to report up metrics to from a business context perspective. Anytime you're trying to create value, it doesn't matter if you're an engineer or principal. If you're a CISO and you're trying to report these metrics up that you have that can actually be substantiated, I'm also going to talk about how to substantiate these metrics. So that way, when the CISO or whoever it is you're conveying this message to, they can actually trust, and it's responsibly shared information. What I mean by responsibly shared is that whenever you're providing high impact information to leadership, they want to be able to know that the source it's coming from is trustworthy. So I'm also going to show you how to build that trust and how to make it so that there's no sniff test involved in this. So basically what that means is that when I provide you some information, you don't have to go Googling anything. Everything is basic math. If I tell you 1 + 1 = 2, I'm pretty sure in this universe and this planet, 1 + 1 = 2, everyone could agree with that. Of course, there's going to be people who want to just challenge the status quo and talk about quantum mechanics and physics. I'm not here to start a debate about anything. I'm here to give you facts based on my experience, based on my customers that I've helped. And they've actually saved money. Some of these customers have saved minimum 400K. I've seen some of them save 200K a month. Some of them have saved 500,000 on a end-to-end project, meaning they could have been deploying CrowdStrike or they could have been deploying Carbon Black. Some of the simple recommendations that I've provided them have been substantiated so that when they go back to the vendor, they could say, but what about X, Y, and Z? I've provided them with the right Q&A to make those high impact decisions. That's not what I'm going to be talking about today. What I'm going to be talking about is the SOC operations and your Opex, right? Because as we know, Opex is one of those things that just, what's the value there, right? You're just basically killing money at that point when you have time wasting, when you're hemorrhaging operational hours unnecessarily. So I'll get into this right now. So again, circling back, I'm going to use two generic use cases. The Kerberos request and the audit policy 4719 and Kerberos 4769. Now, why does that matter, right? I'm going to stitch parsing to these things, log management, right? So everything is done from a data collection perspective. I'm going to just lay it out really simply. When we get data and it's parsed over to our SIM, log management, etc., there are typically values that are involved. And when those values are missed, if you have a level 1 analyst that doesn't know what to look for, they don't have guide rails, you see a mean time or MTTR, mean time to remediate these alerts, it starts to go up. Now, this is basic math, right? So let's say something that has a process and procedure to it. It says, A, level 1 analyst, go look at this, go look at that, ABC, XYZ, done deal, right? But what happens when you have these intricate detections that have low confidence, the availability for information for them to discern or make executive decisions on how they triage? It just gets lost in the wind. So what happens? Your mean time to remediate those alerts just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. So again, back to the use cases I was talking about, Kerberos, the request authentication codes, right? There's different auth codes, right? A normal code for your AES 256 would be like a 0x12. Your legacy protocol, or something that attackers would like to take advantage of, is your authentication code 0x17. This is standard. You could look at this. I mean, if you need to fact check me, go ahead. 0x12 auth code, 0x17 authentication codes that use the RC4 HMAC algorithm. In any case, what I'm getting at is there's a list of attributes that I can enumerate through that would help an analyst make better decisions when an alert comes in. Now we're just talking about the Kerberos event. Imagine that Kerberos alert takes that analyst and then the tier 2, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes to figure out, like, is this a DC sync? Is somebody hitting my, is somebody trying to, is this actually a true positive is what I'm getting at. Is this a true positive? Is this just some legacy protocol that's hitting this DC? Or is it something actually nefarious? And then again, with the 4719, kind of a similar scenario. Again, I'm just using 2 use cases that I've identified. Again, these are my personal experiences with my customers. I picked out 2 use cases where I found that parsing was an issue and caused the delta between the time from detection from the time to remediation. And actually decreasing that window. So let's say a 2-hour decrease per analyst. And when we talk about operational cost, let's say you have 20 analysts and you multiply that by 2. I don't have to explain like the leverage you get when you get those hours back. It's just basic math, right? So if you decrease that time, you have a downtrend now as opposed to an uptrend. So again, the 4719 is another use case where if an analyst says, hey, this isn't scheduled for this time, this looks nefarious. And it could be nefarious. It could be some shadow IT thing, but at least they have the decision to execute right away and say, oh, okay, I need to make this decision to go left or right, whatever it is. I apologize for all the rambling. I just want this to make sense for whoever's watching. Whether you're a CISO, a principal, an engineer, how you're writing your playbooks, etc. All of these things can tangibly help leadership identify what some of these operational costs are, how you're hemorrhaging this money, how you leverage your human resources, right? As opposed to automating certain things, as opposed to having an analyst sit through a playbook and actually identify when the guide rails can, clearly be there and they clearly defined. Again, I have a process that I want to just give you guys today. Again, my experience only. I'm not saying that any of you guys who are watching are doing anything wrong. I'm just saying in my experience, I found gaps in everything. And I'm going to pause for a second and let something resonate for a second. I'm just talking about 2 Windows event IDs. And it doesn't matter if you're in Splunk. It doesn't matter if you're in Chronicle, QRadar, ArcSight, Logarithm. There are gaps in everything. So just think about this for a second. WAF, UEBA, IDS, IPS, firewalls, doesn't matter, next gen. Doesn't matter if you have Veracode, doesn't matter if you have file integrity management. I've found gaps in unique, valuable metadata across all these streams. Now, just imagine, I'm just talking about 2 events, just 2 events. A Windows event ID, that's a Kerberos request, and an audit policy log. That's it. Not talking about Linux, all of the events that come with those, all the meta values. I'm not talking about KInit and how KDC and authentication works through that. I'm not even getting into that. I think the thing to focus on here is how those things are parsed, how the Security Operations Center digests this information, how that information is articulated back to leadership. And a lot of times what I'm seeing is the organizations don't really know how to tangibly qualify any of these metrics that they're actually shifting up to leadership. And once I've provided that information before, I mean, this is a repeatable process. I've done it with the last 9 customers. At the end of the day, what I'm saying is I'm offering 2 days of help. That's it. I'm not asking for anything. I'm saying if you need help, if you have some high impact problem you're trying to solve, and one of these has to do with Security Operations Center, if it has to do with a gap in a solution, or you're having problems with the vendor, I've seen those too. I'm just kind of carte blanche and arbitrarily saying, if you have a problem that's high impact, I don't care if you're a principal, a CISO, whoever you are, reach out to me. Of course, I can't help solve everybody's problems, but whoever reaches out to me, I got 2 days. I'll give you guys 2 days of my time to see if I can come up with a solution. And I'm sure that a process I've developed, something that I have that I can provide to you, um, will help. I mean, just give me the problem that you have, send me an email, say, Izzy, I'm dealing with this. You know what? That video you made resonated with me. My SOC has like 99% false positive ratios. We don't know why. We can't improve the confidence of our detections. We're just being flooded with things from UEBA. We're being flooded with things from EDR. We're being flooded with things from WAP, from Varonis, from whatever you have. Like, I don't care what the vertical technology is. Um, I've seen this. I've been doing this, for over a decade now plus. Um, and I've worked and consulted for large organizations like Microsoft. Consulted for organizations like T-Mobile. I've seen many different things in many vertical spaces. So banking, MUFG, the telecom space, the general tech space, fintech. It doesn't matter what space you're in. You're probably all using similar tools. You're using Splunk for log management, or you're using Chronicle, you're using GCP, you're using Lambda functions to do something in AWS, you're using OCI. Maybe you have some other cloud, maybe you're using DigitalOcean. I don't care what it is. But typically in the cyber defense space, you guys are all using the same thing. You guys all have cultivated similar problems. Your vertical spaces might just be different. Banking, healthcare, telecom, retail, it doesn't matter. The event IDs, the metadata that's actually streaming in and out of the network and internal to the network, so north-south traffic, and I'm not trying to just get technical, your east-west traffic, it's all going to be looking similar. And with your tool sets, again, doesn't matter if you have Carbon Black, doesn't matter if you're running Cylance or Alien Vault, or if you have Recorded Future for threat intel, or if you're running Zero Fox, or if you have Flashpoint. Okay, it doesn't matter in the bigger scheme of things. What matters is how you look at that data, how you optimize that, and how that message is conveyed, not only one, to your level ones all the way up to your engineers, but two, how is that bigger message conveyed to leadership? Are they actually being accurately informed? Would you like your leadership to be accurately informed instead of kind of being freaked out about the message you're sending to them? Right now, a CISO in any CISO space is probably like given like a 2-year thing. Either a CISO is really good at what they're doing, but they don't have the autonomy to really do what to get done. That's, there's some great CISOs out there. 2, you have CISOs that absolutely have no clue and they're being improperly informed, from the ground up, which is unfortunate because like there's some CISOs out there that typically just deal in administration and they're just kind of taking word from, their principals and their engineers that everything is okay. And that's generally not the case. So forced resignations, unfortunately, you see that happening. And again, this isn't to demean anybody. Just talking generalized of what I've seen. And again, this is my experience and helping my customers by providing them processes to accurately reflect what's going on in their organization. And it's done very simply, and you start very small. You take simple events. This could be something as simple as just taking one simple environment and trying to replicate it across many environments. It doesn't matter if you're a 1,000-seat organization, a 200-seat organization, a 50,000-seat organization. Effectively, what I've seen, and it doesn't matter, if you're running a Windows shop and you're a 200-seat, it looks one way. If you're running a Windows shop and it looks 1,000-seat with maybe some Linux servers, it looks another way. The thing is once you get to identify what you're actually doing with the organization, the tools that you have, how they look, how they're optimized, and better yet, how are you conveying the message? Whether you're a private organization or somebody has to report to a board, how is that message being conveyed to leadership? Typically in a private organization, you're trying to squeeze money just as tight as you are if you have a board and you have to answer to somebody. But at the end of the day, you're answering to someone. And would you rather have that message be articulated and substantiated based on facts, as opposed to hoping what your ground floor team is telling you is accurate. Again, my last experience, I've helped out my last 9 customers. Again, this is my experience. All I want to do is help you out. If you're in need of help, just reach out. I will offer you 2 days. I'm not asking for anything, by the way. I'm asking for 0. I'm not going to ask you to pull your wallet out. I'm not going to ask you for what's your budget. I'm not going to say any of that stuff. If you need some help, I have written, documented processes that I've been using for years, and they work with every customer. And the people out there that know me and have worked with me have probably no problem getting on the phone and says, when Izzy comes in and does a job, he's executing. Hands down. I've worked at some Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 companies, and anytime I'm an individual contributor as a CEO in any one of these organizations, I'm beating out any of the big firms, and they've got 20-man teams, 30-man teams, and they're looking to me for help and suggestions. And typically I'm white labeled across the spectrum. So people who do know me in this space know that Countervail is white labeled across many different organizations. So whenever you're getting something that's done and accurate, it's probably coming from Countervail. Now, I know you might think that's like a bold claim, but if you're eager and you want to learn something, I can give you the processes. If you want to learn more about me and my organization, I'm more than happy to get previous customers on the phone and then just have them give you a high level about what I've done or what I have achieved with the resources and the minimized autonomy that I've been given as an individual contributor, as a CEO. So yeah, my organization's a boutique shop. I scale out as much as I can. I don't try to go above and beyond that. Again, the point of this whole video is I'm trying to offer help. I can give you 2 days to kind of figure out what the problem is, or actually strike that, reverse that. I'm going to offer you 2 days to figure out a solution to whatever it is you think you can't figure out, and just reach out to me. I'm a normal guy, just sitting here. I love what I do. I wouldn't be on this video if I didn't think so. Looking to help. This is what I do day to day. If you had a conversation with any of my customers, they would tell you the same thing. Anyhow, I'm Ismail. People know me as Izzy in the industry. Thank you for watching this video. I apologize for so much of the rant and raving. The point I was just trying to get across is I have processes. They've worked in my experience with my last 9 customers that I have. I'm not going to go back any further than my last 9 customers. And if you're looking for help on any high impact profiles or projects that you're looking to facilitate, just reach out. I can afford 2 days of my time to help you out, find out what process you might need, or maybe suggest you in something that I've seen. Maybe you're looking to deploy CrowdStrike. Maybe you're looking to offboard Splunk. Maybe you're looking to do whatever it is. Maybe you're looking to install UEBA. Maybe you're wondering if you should. Whatever it is, I'm not saying that I've done everything. I haven't. And anybody who says that, well, you know what you can tell them. But what I am saying is I've done a lot in my tenure, and the people that I have helped will come to bat for me and say the same thing. So if you need my help, just reach out, go to countervail.com, call the number up, leave a message, say, Izzy, I need some help. What do you got for X? What do you got for Y? What do you got for Z? That's it. Reach out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time. I just really want to help people out. I'm not looking for anything. I really just want to see what I can provide to you. People have helped me out in my career, and I just want to do the same. So if you're a CISO, a principal, an engineer, I don't care who you are. If you're looking for something, if you're looking for use case content, again, sorry for rambling. Whatever you're looking for, I got something for you. Yeah, that's it. Reach out. Ismail Navarro, founder and CEO of Countervail, a cyber defense corporation. Have a great day, LinkedIn family. Thanks.